What is up, beautiful people of the internet? I am Wesley. Today we are reacting to Let Me Explain Studios telling us some daycare stories and animating them. They're not just telling them. I personally love animation YouTubers. I feel like they are the best, most fully evolved version of storytime YouTubers. They essentially just tell you story times, but they're also really funny, and they have a hilarious cartoon animation. And the best part is most of these animations are missing some part of their face. Some are missing noses and mouths, like I can see here in the first clip of Let Me Explain Studios. And I've never watched Let Me Explain Studios before as well, so I'm super pumped. Just had a baby literally a month ago. I don't know anything about daycare though, but I'm invested. That being said, I guess let's just jump into it. I don't know what kind of hijinks these hypothetical animated children will be getting up to. Let's go.
Oh, hello, my geeks and peeps, my explainers and entertainers, my little oodalollies.
Oodalottie?
Here. So, did you know I was a daycare kid? Probably not, because I've never mentioned it before. Makes sense, given that mom and dad were both working parents, and leaving one's infant at home alone is generally considered problematic.
Okay. Yeah, it's considered problematic because the infant is dangerous, not because it's a danger to the infant, right? That's really funny. Is being a daycare kid an identifier? I didn't realize. I went to daycare. I've never self-identified as a daycare kid. I guess I didn't realize that was something people like, oh man, I'm a daycare kid. Also, oodalollies. That is a reference to Robin Hood, right? Like the old-ass Disney Robin Hood, where they're like, oodalala, 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 eh? I didn't know that was a term of endearment and affection. You just blew my mind, let me explain.
Now, I know it might be hard to believe,
Her
but
legs.
I haven't always been the pinnacle of refinement and maturity that you see before you today. No.
It's winter, guys.
Kid,
Girls don't shave their legs in
I was a bit of a
winter.
rascal. For example, the box story. Now, at this daycare, we had a big playroom, and in this playroom, there was a dark little alcove where custodial stuff and equipment was kept all the time, and one morning during playtime, I noticed someone had left a large box there. Big enough for a child to hide behind. Now, there's a concept that
Behind? Okay, I was getting excited. I thought this child was getting sent through the postal service. I was like, they're gonna get inside, they're gonna get mailed. All those fake ass I ship myself in a box videos. And for the YouTube algorithm's sake, I said ship. YouTube, I said ship. Please do not demonetize this. I said ship. I just enunciate really, really badly. Anyways, before I mispronounce other words and unintentionally swear, let's keep.
Kid logic. And it's basically just a name for that randomness that kids possess, or the absurdity that is their reasoning sometimes. For example, when I saw that box, that's when my kid logic kicked in, and I said, I'm gonna hide behind that box for as long as possible and see what happens. This is a great idea.
It's a great idea.
The adults weren't
It's fair.
looking, I slunk behind the box and crouched down, hiding myself entirely. I must have stayed there for half an hour before playtime ended, and they ushered all the kids away to a different room for a new activity. And funny enough, the adults were none the wiser I was gone. I've beat the system. Now this is what...
Legitimately, I think a child who shows that much ingenuity and that much patience, 30 minutes? She hit 30 minutes. I don't know if I could do that now, and I'm ancient. She was like 5. 30 minutes to a 5-year-old is like 3 hours to me because I'm that much older than a 5-year-old. I'm just impressed at this child. Like, they should be ruling worlds and leading armies.
It took an hour of me hiding before an adult
An
came back to the
hour?
room and visibly began looking around for something. Couldn't imagine what it might be.
Now, where did I leave that small child? Must be around here someplace.
I peeked my head up over the edge of the box to watch, but that proved to be my undoing. I was spotted.
I've been compromised.
I got in big trouble for that, of course. I was clearly
She hid
not
for an
good at getting
hour.
away with things when I was a kid, as you'll see in the next story. Now, one time at this...
Dude, an hour. She hid for an hour. That is so impressive. I don't know. I do not know. If you guys are people in hide and seek, I always give up and just run. That's why I hate playing any version of hide and seek that isn't just you can get hide and seek tag where you can run from the person and try to get to safe. I hate any version of that. And I'm saying that as if I casually play hide and go seek all the time. I wish it was socially acceptable to just get together with 5 to 8 of your homies and play a good round of hide and go seek tag. But hide and go seek itself, disgusting. You have to sit in one spot for time and just sit there. And it's just gross. And this kid did it for an hour. That's so cool.
Daycare, they brought in a whiteboard, and you were only allowed to draw on it with adult supervision.
Okay, I won't draw on the board.
Instead, I stole a green dry erase marker when no one was looking and proceeded to decorate my face. Hey, listen, I didn't break the rules. They specifically said don't draw on the board. They said nothing about my face. I put
Should
the
be a
marker
lawyer.
back and walked away, but was promptly spotted by an adult. Becca, did you do this to yourself?
No.
Did somebody do this to you?
Yes.
Who did it? Well, sheesh, I hadn't thought I had that far. And I honestly didn't even think to blame another kid. Instead, that good old kid logic kicked in, and I came up with the most foolproof story that was sure to get my hide out of trouble.
I was minding my own business looking for something to play with, and then the markers came over and marked on my face.
I will never understand how that daycare worker kept a straight face, but off to timeout I went.
So, what are you in for? Disrupting the status quo? Whoa, I stuck gum up my nose.
Something I haven't mentioned yet.
To be fair, that is really disrupting the status quo. If you consider the status quo biological imperative and survival of the species, because you're using different orify.
That is that my sister Rachel also went to this daycare, and because she's 2 years older than me, she got to be in the big kids program called the Superstars. And I was so jealous that I took to calling them the Stupid Stars. Extra
Burned.
crispy
That's
on
a
that burn
preschool-
there, little Becca. But one thing that will always be
I don't care. That's a preschool, ender. That's the best. That's like oh! If you whipped out stupid in preschool, stupid in elementary school, still, that packs a punch, right? In preschool, the stupid bomb, dropping that, you have to remember, guys, you have to scale this. It's like you have to drop a nuke in, or if you had just normal dynamite, now everyone's like, whatever, that's just dynamite. We have the nuke, right? But if you go back into, the Iron Age, 10,000 years ago, or however long ago, more intelligent people than me can tell me, because I don't know, I just know it was a real freaking long time ago, and you had dynamite, that's the biggest bomb you could drop. People would be like, what the hell was that dynamite? Stupid? Saying stupid in preschool is like that. These kids are not prepared for that level of verbal assault. So I don't care. The Stupid Stars, boom. It's a good put down at preschool.
Significant memory to me is the day I discovered that the Superstars had a Nintendo. Better yet, they had Super Mario Brothers. And that, my little oodalollies, was the first time I ever saw a console
I like when she calls me an
video game.
oodalolly.
I thought I was looking at magic. And that became the only thing I ever wanted to do at playtime, was go over to the big kid area and watch them play Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, it's
Don't
so
you dare
fun.
tell me that gamers aren't real entertainers. I was watching people play video games long before the Appliers and Septiceyes and D-Pies of the world.
How did she make every Pewds, Jack, and Markiplier look exactly like them? She nailed them. Even if there was no context, you'd be like, okay, I know exactly who all these guys are, which is surprising. I don't think any of the three are that super distinctive looking. That's really cool. Also, if anybody doesn't understand why Twitch and watching live streamed games is a thing, have you ever watched kids watch their older siblings play video games? Because that's all Twitch is. I never understand why people don't understand that, or even just people who watch their friends play. It happens all the time.
Made it a thing. But when playtime was over, the daycare staff had to pry me away, kicking and screaming from that TV set. One day, however, I came up with a brilliant idea. When they pulled me away from the big kids' corner and sat me down with the other little kids, I proceeded to scream and cry that I miss my big sister, and nothing was gonna console me except being allowed to be with her in the big kid area.
Emotional manipulation.
I guess the adults didn't know what else to do, so they actually let me go back over.
Holy Crayola, that actually worked.
Sure enough, I made a beeline for the Nintendo. Screw you, sis, I got video games to observe. It
What's
didn't
she
take long
listening
for
to?
an adult to catch on, and I was eventually pulled away again. When I tried the same shtick, they gently said,
Becca, you say you miss your sister, but every time you go over there, you just watch them play video games.
okay, maybe they had me there. Not gonna lie, that's a pretty solid accusation.
All right, grown-up, I'll concede to you this time. But one day, I'll be grown-up, and I'll watch all the video games I want.
Don't you mean
And then she founded Twitch. But it scares me. It really scares me. I remember I don't remember it. I was going to say in my psychology class about childhood development, but if I'm going to be really honest with you guys, I can't remember little factoids in my brain that I've learned from a real college level course on childhood development and little factoids I've read on Facebook and my wife has told me from Pinterest. So this could either be like really true and scientifically verified, or this could have been written by your great aunt Nancy, who sells, I don't know, Herbalife or something. But I remember reading that one of the first things that children learn to do is actually lie. So think about that one. They like cry just because they want to be held. They mislead you to get what they want. I heard a story about someone who was trying to potty train their daughter, and they were like, hey, every time you pee in the toilet, I'll give you a piece of candy, right? Simple enough. Guess what the kid starts doing? The kid starts to just eke out like one little drop of urine, gaming the system. The kid was like 3. The kid was 3!
play them?
No.
Now, I've saved the best story for last. Even when I started kindergarten, there was no escaping this daycare. Because one of the services they provided was picking up children from my elementary school and taking them back to the daycare where the parents could pick them up later.
I did a program like that
So every
too.
day, I didn't get picked up by a parent or get on a normal yellow school bus. I waited for a big white van. That sounds rather nefarious now that I say it out loud. But yeah, Rachel and I would wait for the van, pile in with the other kids, and go wait to get picked up at the daycare. And this was a routine my kindergarten teacher knew. She was a very good teacher and kept track of the way each of her students were supposed to go home.
I had a bad
she would
kindergarten
make sure
teacher.
I got in that van.
She was mean to
I was
me.
getting a little bored of the routine. And here's good old kid logic again, because many of my classmates would get to walk home. And for some reason, I decided that was the cool thing to do. I aspired to walk home. But that wasn't gonna happen with Miss Responsibility Pants botching my whole operation. So like the little devil I was,
Her pigtails?
I waited until we had a substitute teacher. Alright, here's
She's
your evil genius
devious.
learner's permit, kiddo. When school ended that day, instead of getting into the daycare van, I hid behind a brick pillar and waited for the van to leave without me.
Which we
But
know
now my sister
we know she'll be able to damn well wait until like the next day in order to get this operation rocking.
never said anything. She must have been like, all right, I guess she died. As soon as the van left, I headed off. My house was within walking distance, only about a mile away. But I began to think as I walked that no one was actually going to be at the house, and I had no way of getting inside. Probably should have thought of that before. So instead of walking home, I made the executive decision to walk to the daycare instead. Now, I knew
Okay, that's the most unrealistic part of this whole story. You're gonna tell me that you didn't know how to break into your own house? I've never known a kid who didn't know how to break into their own house. Like, I broke into my own house all the time. All the time. I would do stuff like this, where I would, like, go home and break into my house. Everybody knows how to break into their own house. Like, there's always that one weird window, or that one, like, door, or the spare key. You didn't know that?
I knew what I was doing was against the rules, because every single time I saw a white vehicle of any sort coming in the distance, I would duck behind a tree or bush as fast as I could.
She's a
when
good
I was
hider.
so close that I could see the daycare up ahead, I noticed what was most definitely a white van approaching, and the only tree immediately available was thinner than me. So not only was this tree already insufficient at hiding me, but when I jumped behind it, I didn't think to put the tree between me and the line of sight of the van. So when the daycare staff approached, this is what they saw. I'm revoking that evil genius learner's permit.
Yeah, you're just
Stopped
evil
the
now.
van, made me get inside, and guess who I found in the back seat? The snitch that ratted me out. My own sister.
How could you? We were brothers, you and I. Wait.
And that is just a handful of examples of what a little monster I was. I talked to my sister about this script and she came up with even more stories about this daycare, so if you guys like this video, then maybe there'll be another one in the future, who knows. Alright, have fun out there, oodalollies, and avoid white vans.
Fair advice. Advice to live by, frankly, right? I don't know why. It just fills my heart with joy every time she calls me an oodalolly. I guess all of us. She called all of us an oodalolly. I'm like, thank you. I don't know what that means, but it sounds very, very nice. It's like the verbal equivalent of handing me a cup of hot cocoa, I feel like. But, dude, I love stories of kids being evil and crazy. I don't know why, and it's probably going to come back to bite me in some weird universal karma sense, whatever. I don't know why I'm trying to make karmitic. Fuck. Because I have a kid. My kid is going to get old enough to be able to pull these types of hijinks. And I'm always like, yeah, it's really funny to me to hear about it happen to other people. I'm sure it will be not funny at all to have it actually happen to me. But I'm like, well, I've laughed at everybody else's experience. So in some, cosmic justice system, shouldn't I experience the things that I laughed at other people for? I don't know, but I'm still going to laugh at it. That being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Wesley. Make sure you subscribe down below for more reactions. And yeah, I will see you guys next time tomorrow. Maybe you'll go check out the channel and hit some more reactions. I don't know, but I'll see you when I see you. So, bye.